encourage you, please, to actively engage with us today through our chat. So any question you have, thoughts you have, please feel free to share them in the chat. Okay, so as we delve into Discover You, I'm thrilled to introduce you our expert for the day, Daphne Roberets. Yeah, she's representing the Directorate General for Education, Youth, Sports and Culture at the European Commission in Brussels. And more specifically, she's working at the Youth Volunteer Solidarity and the Traineeship Office. So I'm just now going to share the screen with Daphne's presentation for the day. Give me 1 second and 1 moment, please. Okay. Everybody can see, please? Yes?
Yes,
Lovely.
yes, we can. Perfect.
Can see. Excellent. Okay, so Daphne, the floor is yours, and I will follow you through the presentation, changing the different slides.
Thank you very much, Teresa, and thank you very much for having me here. It's always a pleasure to talk about Discover EU, because I was part of the team who created this initiative in June 2018. We really started from scratch. We received some money from the European Parliament, and they said, okay, you have 3 months, and we need to have 15,000 young people traveling in the summer. So we were 3 people working on this. We were a bit in a rush. I mean, we needed to set up an online tool for young people to register, also a communication campaign, because Discover EU is about travel passes to explore Europe by train. And it's good to have the travel passes, but young people need to know that they are available, otherwise they can't apply. So we need to create everything from scratch. So what happened is that, okay, so what I love particularly about Discover EU is that it's coming from civil society. It's coming from 2 young people, Herr und Speer. In 2014, they decided to go on an interrail trip to explore Europe, and they loved it so much. They thought, we want every young European to have this opportunity. So they managed to talk to some MEPs, member of the European Parliament, and they were seduced by the ideas. So they take it up, and they launched a preparatory action in 2018, asking the Commission to implement it. So in 2018-2019, we had 350,000 young people apply and 70,000 young Europeans who won a travel pass. So in the beginning, we were, as I said, it was completely new. So we were a bit stressed. For the first day, we launched the application round in June 2018, and we thought, is anyone going to apply for those travel passes? We were really many people had doubts that this would work. And the first day when we opened the applications, we thought, is it going to work? And I remember our IT team, after a few hours that we had launched the call, they contacted us and they said, come in our monitoring room, there is something happening. And so we went down to the IT room, and they had a big screen on the wall with a map of Europe, and they told us, everybody, that every time that a young person applies for a travel pass, there is a little red dot. And so we looked at the screen, and Europe was on fire. It was red everywhere. So we were kind of relieved that young people were interested. And after 1 day, we had 30,000 people applying, which is quite great when you know that it's only 18 years old. So we thought, okay, they want this. So it was good to have it. Of course, in 2020, unfortunately, it was frozen due to the pandemic. It's about traveling, and traveling was stopped, so we had no choice. So, and in 2021, Discover EU joined the Erasmus Plus family, because it was so successful that it was decided to embed it, to make it a long-lasting adventure. Since we froze the action for a while, in October 2021, we decided to open a mega round, and during which 330,000 young people applied, and they won 70,000 travel passes. Then in April 2022, it was the European Year of Youth. So we decided to increase again the number of travel passes in 2022. So in total, in 2022, we had 70,000. And in 2023, we have actually, it's a bit more than 70,000 in 2023. It's a little bit more, but I don't have the exact figures, but it's more than that. So that's we just had the application round that took place in October. We don't have the exact results yet because we need to check. There are some duplicates. Some people are so motivated they try to apply several times. So we need to be careful and to make sure that everybody gets the same chance. So we're busy doing that right now. And in the beginning of January, young people will be notified if they want a travel pass. You can move to the next slide, please. So here you can see the quite impressive figures. Since we started 5 years ago, more than 1 million young people applied for 248,000 travel passes over in 6 application rounds. This does not take into account the 2023 yet because we don't have the exact figures, but so that you have an idea of how successful that was since the beginning. So you can move to the next slide. Thank you. So that's the... moving a bit too fast. I need the slide before. Yes, thank you. No, after. Yeah, great, thanks. So this is to tell you a little bit how it works. What are the conditions to be selected? You need to be 18 years old. You need to have the nationality of one of the Erasmus Plus countries. That means the 27 EU member states plus Iceland, Norway, Turkey, Serbia, North Macedonia, and Liechtenstein. You need to, if you are selected, you can travel alone or with friends, a group of maximum 5. And you can travel between 1 and 30 days. And as soon as you are selected, you become a Discover You ambassador. It means that we expect you to just to spread the word about Discover You in your networks and to make sure that more young people can take part in it. When and how to apply, the next application round will take place in March or April. I wrote March here, but it's usually in spring. It depends a bit on the holiday. We try to be a bit strategic to allow young people to be available to take part. It's taking place on the European Youth Portal. There is if you Google European Youth Portal Discover You, you will find it, or you can just click on the link. I don't know if you will share the presentation maybe afterwards. So there is, you need to provide your personal data, so name, last name, date of birth, and also your passport or identity card number. And you need to answer 5 quiz questions and a subsidiary question. So these are very easy questions on the European Union. We chose to have a subsidiary questions because the 5 quiz questions are quite easy to answer. We even give the links where you can, if you search a bit, you can find the answer, because we wanted it to be really inclusive and accessible to everyone. You don't need a PhD to answer those questions. Anyone can reply to them. That's what we wanted. So those young people who will apply in the spring 2024 will get the results in June and will be able to travel as of July 2024. There's always 2 summers. So it means that they can travel in the summer 2024, all the year that follows, all the months that follow, but up until the next summer. So at the end of summer 2025. So you can get to the next slide, please. So I just wanted to show you a little bit who are the travelers and what they learn with Discover You. This picture was taken during a Discover You meetup in Prague. I will tell you a little bit more about meetups later on. So you can move to the next slide. So no big surprise here, because young people taking part in the program are 18. So most of them are at school or just leaving school. A lot of them are in higher education, and quite a significant number of them are taking a gap year. So you can go to the next slide. Who did you travel with? 30% travel alone, 44% with a friend, and 25% with a group of friends. which countries did you visit? So here again, no big surprise. The countries that are in the top 10, I would say, are those that are more in Central Europe. It's not because they are more attractive than the others, not at all. It's just because they are very much in the central of the European Union. So wherever you're coming from, for some countries, I mean, are really rail hubs in Europe. So Germany, for example, is a really big country, and they are, I mean, it's in the center. So you sometimes you must pass by to go to another country. That's why those are very much visited. But it's still interesting because it helps us also promoting those that are less visited. So we take regular actions to encourage young people to visit the other countries that are less visited. You can move to next. Did you speak another language other than your mother tongue? So here it's also interesting. We see that young people, 59% have improved their level of foreign languages by 59%. So you can move to the next one. Also, what did you learn from this experience? That's in the beginning, some people were afraid that we would just offer a kind of touristic pass to young people, but we see that they really learn many things from this experience, and really skills and competencies that can be of value for their future life. They learn how to plan and organize, to deal with unexpected situations. They learn more about culture, European habits, traditions. They learn to be independent, about European history. So I'll let you ponder if you think that those skills can be useful in life. So voila. If you can move to the next slide. The new features of Discover EU. So now that Discover EU is part of Erasmus Plus, and this Erasmus Plus is mainly an educational program, we have decided to increase the learning dimension by creating what we call a learning cycle. And we also decided to make it more inclusive, because social inclusion is one of the main priorities of Erasmus Plus. We really want all to be able to take part in Discover EU, to give the same chances to everyone, or at least to try. So you can, thank you. So first, the inclusion action. What is the goal of the inclusion action? Is to allow young people with fewer opportunities to participate in Discover EU on equal footing with their peers. It's organized by the Erasmus Plus national agencies across Europe. There are 35 of them, and they all implement this, working with organizations that work with young people with fewer opportunities. They give them grants so that they can organize projects to have young people traveling across Europe. The first call took place in October 2022. 166 projects were proposed, and the first travelers, young people traveling with the inclusion action, started their journey in March 2023. I wanted to share with you a testimonial. If you can get to the next slide, please. So this is a project that was organized with young people of a Czech orphanage, an orphanage in Czechia. And I find that really touching, because basically those young people had never traveled outside of Czechia. And before leaving, they were really scared, and some of them even wanted to cancel, but they still went for it, and they said that it was really a life-changing experience for that. And even one young boy who was having problems with others where he was living, really started to open up, and now he wants to sign up for another Erasmus Plus opportunity, and he had a big transformation during this project. So we really believe in the future of the inclusion action for Discover EU. If you can move to the next. Okay, the learning cycle. Why your learning cycle? Well, I said it. It's because Erasmus Plus is an educational program, and we really want to offer learning opportunities to young people. It's implemented by the national agencies, like the Inclusion Action, and there are 3 types of activities. So the national agencies prepare the young people for their trip with information meetings about traveling, how to keep safe, how to use their travel pass, etc. They also give information on the meetups that are also part of the learning cycle. And they also have meetings with potential multipliers, so organizations that could, for example, benefit of the inclusion action or work closer with young people taking part in Discover EU. So you can move on to the next slide. So I just wanted to show you a little bit the meetups. So here on the left-hand side, you have the map of meetups that is published on the European Youth Portal. So basically, young people can just select a meetup and register directly to the national agency. Meetup take place usually in the summer, in July and August, most of them, because it's when the most young people are traveling. And we receive wonderful stories about those meetups because young people really connect. They stay friends after that. And it's also for us the opportunity to offer them food and accommodation because we offer the travel pass, but food and accommodation are in principle not covered. And during the meetups, those are covered. So it's an extra incentive for them to take part in the meetups where they have a learning program, they have workshops, and it's also linked very often either to the cultural heritage of the European Union or to the priorities of the European Union, like the fight against climate change, for example, or the digital. And it really, we saw, for example, there was a meetup this summer in Hamburg. Hamburg is the European Green Capital. There was a whole program on the environment, and it was very much appreciated by young people. They said that they love this kind of thematic approach, and 90% of them said that they were willing to choose a destination if there was an interesting meetup there. So we see a lot of potential, and we want to organize more in the future. Thank you. That's something I just wanted to show you. It's that we, on the European Youth Portal, also as part of the learning dimension of the program, we have designed the Discover EU route. So it's really for to inspire young people, because we give them a travel pass, but very often they say, okay, where am I going to go? And so we share these routes with them to give them some ideas. All the countries are represented. Here it's the culture route, and it's divided in various sections. So you have music route, architecture route, and here it's the fashion route that I've selected, and they can really travel along these routes. And if they click on a point, they get a description of the city and what's interesting for them to see. It also allows us to promote those countries that are less visited by the young people. So we now, at the moment, we have a green route, a culture route, a digital route, and a new European Bauhaus route, and we are working on the new one for 2024, which will be on health and well-being, how to keep healthy when traveling. So the next slide. So I'm coming to the end of my presentation. That was I noticed that it was quite quick. I was afraid to not to have enough time, so maybe I was a bit fast. But you can find us on social media. Our Instagram account is particularly growing and interesting, I find. It's European Youth. So we are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I should replace this little bird now because it's X, but you see what I mean. Voilà. So thank you very much for listening to me. And if you have any question, I'm all ears. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daphne. It's been very insightful, really insightful presentation on Discover EU, and definitely you have covered all the questions that I think some of us were going to ask on the chat. So that was fantastic. And honestly, I think, initiatives like that, this is what, builds Europe and gives our youth, the willingness to travel, the willingness to learn, to discover, and, to change their mindset and their life. So thank you very much for that. And I'm just going to share very, now that I'm sharing still my screen, I wanted to show everybody our agenda for today. So I'm sharing the screen? No. Excuse me for that. Okay, because we just wanted to show you the
now
screen.
we can see.
Now we can see.
Yes.
Lovely. So we just concluded now our Discover EU, and to have a general overview of the structure of the day. So I'm just stopping now sharing. So again, Daphne, thank you. Thank you very much. And now I want to give a warm welcome to Marta Zamarite from Latvia. She's a young lady. And she's one of the voices of Discover EU. And she's going to share with us her experience. She was part of Discover EU during 2022, isn't it, Marta?
Exactly.
Yes. So, Marta, mostly the floor is yours. And my first question is, why Discover You? What was the reason that moved you, to apply and to want to travel in Europe?
Of course. Thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Marta.
Yes, as Teresa already said, my name is Marta Zamarita. I'm from Latvia. And last year, I was one of the lucky ones who won the Interrail Pass to do my own unforgettable trip around Europe. So I'd just like to introduce a little bit my trip really, really quickly. So I traveled for 10 days and I was able to travel around 8 countries, 4 of which I was in for the first time. So it was a pretty quick and intense trip, but I loved it so much because I got a taste of the many local cuisines and I got to meet my childhood friends who now live abroad and also make many new connections. But first things first, how and why did I apply to the program? Well, I knew about the Discover EU for a long time already because my aunt is a youth worker. So from a very young age, I knew about the different mobility opportunities that EU offers us. And firstly, I participated in some of the Erasmus Plus youth exchanges, and there I got some confidence about my language skills and that kind of things. And after that, I was ready and willing to try out all the other opportunities that European Union offers us. So I always knew that I would at least try to apply to all the opportunities that there are. And Discover EU is one of them.
Wow, excellent.
So yes, applying was really easy, I have to say, piece of cake. As Daphne already mentioned, yes, I registered through the website, I filled out the form, the questionnaire, and all that's left to do was waiting for results. And
we have actually a question here. Can we have some basic
Yes.
tips to do a great application to Discover EU? So you're
Yeah,
going on the topic.
Going on the topic.
Excellent.
perfectly on time. Well, honestly, at least last year when I applied, the form was really simple. There was a lot of personal data and I think 5 questions, if I'm not mistaken, about Discover EU, the history, which is basically theoretical. There's not like an essay to write or something like that. So you just have to research a little bit and put in the right answers. And really, it's made in a way that it's more accessible to everyone and super inclusive. So it's not like there's a big competition, I would say, but maybe something has changed now. I'm not super sure.
Okay, and just now following the initial question, Daphne, it's just letting us know, reminding all the young people following us today, please check the deadline dates. That's very important. And what else? What else was Daphne reminding us? Yeah, keep an eye on the European Youth Portal, very important. Following up this session, we will send you the presentation and also the info about the European Youth Portal.
And join the Facebook group.
Yes, and join the Facebook group, very, very important, yes. Okay, so Marta, you apply, you got accepted, of course, and what happened next? Where did you travel? How were the logistics and how was the experience, of traveling to several countries in a short period of time?
Well, I got the acceptance email. Well, from there, it took quite a while to understand that it's really happening and to believe that because it didn't seem real, but it was real. So the first thing was the preparation process, where I also had the national meeting with our national coordinator agency, which was really helpful actually, because it was online and there were all of the selected participants from Latvia. And in the meeting, the agency provided us with the info kit, gave us some advice, some help, what to prepare for, what to pack. So it was really, really helpful. Also an opportunity to meet other Latvian travelers, or maybe even plan a trip together, you know, because I applied as a solo traveler, but of course you can travel together with someone else who has also received the pass. And what was also super helpful in the preparation process, what I did was just going through YouTube and looking for past travelers' experiences and what they went through to prepare with that. Yeah, that was really helpful to just understand what's going to happen, what can happen, and what to pack.
Of course. And what countries did you visit and for how long?
That was exactly
That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, on June 12th, I traveled in the summer. I left Riga and headed straight to Vilnius in Lithuania and then Warsaw in Poland. So I won't go really in detail about all the plan that I did. If you're curious, the future travelers, you can always contact me on Facebook or wherever you might find me. I will gladly help you with anything you might need. But yes, I went from Lithuania to Poland, then to Czech Republic, Austria, Italy, Switzerland, France, Germany, like a loop around Central Europe, because it's the most accessible, as they already mentioned before.
Excellent. Wow. And how was your experience during the travel? The people that you were encountering on the way, the friendships you built, in terms of also language, you know, maybe traveling in different countries, different languages. How that worked for you?
Language-wise, I didn't have any problems.
English,
because
I guess.
I used English. Yes. And also I met up with some of my friends who spoke the local language. So that was also kind of easy, I would say. But the travel experience in general, it was just amazing. There's not much to say, but I traveled alone. But to be honest, I was never really alone. Because I stayed mostly in hostels, and there you meet other travelers as well, who are doing the craziest trips from all around the world. And yes, one night I ended up playing pool with some random Australians in the basement of a hotel, and that's actually one of the best memories that I have now. And yes, trying the food was amazing. I made sure to try the local food at least once in each country. So that was a highlight also for me. But of course, it wasn't always pretty, you know. There were also some harder things, I would say. The backpack and the bags were often killing me. I didn't get to sleep well. It was too hot or too rainy at times. But, you know, that's the beauty of life, of adventure, I would say. And now looking back, I don't regret a single thing about my trip.
Excellent. So I think this connects with our somehow closing question for you. And it's like, it's been 1 year now. You have had this wonderful, amazing, life-changing experience. How do you feel that this has impacted your life now as a young adult living in Latvia? The side effects, let's say, positive side effects of this experience, how this has changed your understanding of the European project, meeting different people, and even, you know, has this impact even your future plans professionally?
Yeah, well, during this Discover EU trip, I definitely became much more mature. Because if there arose any problems, which there will be, obviously, I was the only one who could solve them. I had to be the one who's solving them. So yes, it made me, you know, grow up. I could say it was like a bridge into adulthood, I would say. And yes, I was a little scared before leaving, you know, because I'm traveling alone. Although I was just a little bit scared. My mom was terrified. She almost did not let me go. But nothing bad happened at all. Like, yes, if a blonde 18-year-old girl alone with a huge backpack can walk around Venice in the dark and nothing bad happens, well, I would say that Europe is safe for everyone to travel. So yeah, that's why I recommend everyone to apply and hopefully create your own adventure with the help of Discover EU.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Marta. Honestly, it's been lovely listening to your experience and knowing that you young people, you have this fantastic opportunity. And really, I think you need to make everybody listening, and the ones that we will listening to this talk afterwards, my advice is make the most of it, because it's like, as Marta has been telling us right now, it's been a life-changing experience. So thanks a lot for that, Marta. And I think your insights and experience provide a very positive feedback and impact of what this program means for all of us. And I really like that you mentioned, that you grow personally, because this connects a lot with what Daphne was telling us, of all the different experiences and different insights that the participants were, spotlighting in a way, and letting all these experiences that build a different sense of being in a way. So thank you, Marta. And
Thank you so much for having me.
No, pleasure. And regarding Q&A, just one, if there is any more additional question, because maybe Daphne needs to leave us a little bit earlier, I would recommend our participants to use the chat in the next minutes. Otherwise, if we don't have any questions, again, we will share the presentation with all of you, and you can get all the information you need as well in the European Youth Portal and all the Discover EU websites and Facebook groups. And
there is good news from Daphne in the chat that the application form is still simple and it has not changed.
Yes.
So good news.
Excellent.